In 2003, my son Trevin was 5.5 at the time. We were at Disneyland for a family vacation. And we went down to Disneyland doing the Disneyland thing, and he gets a cold. You have 4 kids get sick. It's never fun, but you kind of develop a rhythm for when they're going to bounce back. And he wasn't bouncing back. Even on the ride home, we couldn't cheer him up. He got real listless, had no energy, and his skin color was different. So we take him to the emergency room, and they weren't real worried. They did some blood work, and they gave him a bunch of fluids, and they said he was dehydrated, and maybe they were gonna look at him overnight because there were some possible signs in the blood work of some hepatitis possibilities, but it was like one of those, okay, everything's fine. I mean, nobody was panicked, so I was to go home and be with the other 3 girls. I'm not home for 5 minutes. I get this call that, hey, on the way to the hospital, your son's heart stopped. I run in, and the first thing I remember seeing is a team of doctors all hovering over my son and, trying to resuscitate him. Shortly thereafter, doctor rushes out and said, oh, great news. We had one nurse that was able to keep his heart pumping enough for us to put this ECMO unit on him, which is a heart-lung bypass machine. Over the next, I want to say 6 to 8 hours, it became, but he can't stay on this unit here. He has to be transported. All the medical transport units for this machine are in Iraq because we just started the war. He can go to Stanford, he can go to the University of Michigan, but we can't get him to either. My great friend drove us in the Suburban behind the ambulance, and it was the worst 2.5-hour drive in the history of the world because every bump he went over, we weren't sure if he made it. And now he's in ICU. He's on this heart-lung bypass machine. We set up what they called Camp Trevin at Lucille Packard, and with so many people that just loved us. They basically just stopped their lives. I mean, that's where so many people laid down their lives, in a sense, to love on us and to care for us in this time. And he was on this machine for 40 days at Stanford. Defining moments in my life is when we found out that we had to take Trevin off life support. We're staying in this little back room, these cots at Lucille Packard. We went back there, we prayed together, and she goes, can you leave me alone for a little bit? And I said, sure, and I walked out. I've never heard a scream of more pain than I heard from her. It was like through 2 walls into another room, and she was crying out to God. I was so amazed that she had the maturity to be willing to scream out to God. It's horrific, and I'm not here to say it's not, but what's equally awesome is that we have a God that volunteered that for his son on our behalf. I mean, people say, why would you believe in this Jesus? Like, come on. And the cynics, and I get it. And I simply say, you have no idea I've experienced a peace during the greatest time of loss any parent could ever have that is so real. I mean, truly, I feel like it washes over me at times.